Hey, so it occurs to me that I should give you an update on what's going on with my computer because shenanigans afoot. What happened? So this here is my old hard drive connected to a gadget, and the data is being transferred to the new hard drive in there because what happened is this tiny little bit of plastic. I realized that broke off the old hard drive, and that's why the cable connecting the hard drive, into the motherboard, all that kind of stuff. The cable wouldn't stay into the hard drive. I think this happened at some point, like, after the last service where they changed my whole motherboard. So, things got plugged in and out. And I guess this piece was just, wobbly. So, that explains. I mean, I've been having problems for a while. Is like the computer would take ages to start up because it was trying to detect the hard drive, but the cable wasn't in properly. So yeah, that would fail, and it would just take forever to start up. It would realize it couldn't get it properly and just ignore it, and then having trouble accessing the data. So before this properly broke off, like it was just weakened. Before it properly broke off, I kept plugging in the cable again. Every so often I'd have to open it up and plug it in again. But it finally broke properly, and I realized, that's why we were having that issue. I thought maybe the cable was faulty, but no, it was this hard drive piece. So yeah, I've still got my premium support, whatever, contacted them, and they've sent me a new hard drive, which I already put in, and I'm sorry I didn't show you how that worked. It was pretty easy though. And then they didn't tell me how to format it, so I had to Google it. But it's all set up now, doing the transfer, and the device that I'm using to transfer it is this thing. And yeah, it's pretty good, it's going well. It was a little bit hard to get it to go in and actually click in, and when I was trying to click it in, a tiny piece of plastic from that broke off. Here's that tiny piece of plastic, but it's not a big deal because what was happening in here is that the cables, because they're two separate cables, there was nothing to anchor them together, whereas in this gadget, it sort of has them next to each other, spaced exactly how it's spaced on the hard drive, and so it just holds it in without needing this extra random piece. So yeah, as long as it works, I don't mind. It's a little bit annoying to have something break the moment you try and use it, but as long as it works, that's fine. Anyway, so yeah, this gadget is a pretty convenient way to copy everything exactly across to my new hard drive. I did make a backup on my big hard drive, my big external hard drive over there, so just in case I didn't get this gadget in time or it didn't work well, but no, it's working well. And I did get it in time because Dell is fine, but the company that they used to deliver this part, to deliver the new part to me, DHL, they really stuffed me around. So, it took me almost a week to get it from them because their communication was so bad. I won't really go into the details of that now. But yeah, I finally got it, and I'm doing the thing. And that's what's happening with computers. Cool story, Hansel. Oh, okay, so seeing as I'm gonna have to wait for a while, we might as well keep chatting. And you can see I'm wearing my Stitch hoodie. I haven't bothered with lighting. I'm filming on my phone really awkwardly on my knees, so I'm sorry about the slight shake going on there. I just can't be bothered. But yeah, so a couple things I've noticed. So the new hard drive is slightly thinner than the old hard drive. I mean, they're both the same size in terms of plugging it into things, but it's thinner in terms of the other one's that thick and this one's that thick. And I don't know if that's since 2019, is that a standard thing? The old one just fits into the new gadget to transfer things across without having to put it in an entire casing. Yeah, that sort of put me off a little bit. It's also a different brand. So my original one is Toshiba and the new one is Seagate. Both of them are the same capacity, 7200 RPM, or is it RPM on these? I don't know. I'm not really a tech person, so. So those specs seem the same. It just makes me think a bit okay. will I notice any difference? I don't know. It still fit into the computer fine. It just, yeah, when things are a little bit different, it makes me a little bit nervous. And then also, I get very attached to the first of something. So then when I have to replace a part or whatever, I get a little bit like, eh. And I know that Dell, sometimes with their replacement parts, they might use a new part or it might be refurbished. And when things are refurbished, I get a little bit nervous and I have no way of knowing if I've got a new part or a refurbished part. So that's another anxiety I've got. And then I don't know if I'm imagining this because of having all those thoughts, but I think the new hard drive in the computer might have a little bit of an annoying low-pitch hum compared to the old one. But yeah, I don't know. And I don't know if that's going to annoy me long term, and I don't know if it's just because I'm transferring like a whole lot of data all at once. And maybe it won't be as annoying once it chills out. Is that how hard drives work? I'm not sure. But so I do have some anxieties still. Yeah, but you know, it's being fixed, and the computer, you know, once I put it in, the computer rebooted just fine. Yeah, just a few anxieties, and it's probably me nitpicking. But yeah, no, I'm glad I got this gadget to transfer things across though, because I feel better doing that. I mean, I'm yet to see how well things go, and I should probably keep this up monitoring so I can see, just make sure everything's going nicely. But yeah, so when I copied all the data onto my really big external hard drive, there was one thing from a WordPress backup from my website that, oh no, two things it couldn't copy across because the file path was too long. So I'm going to be interested to see whether that's an issue between these two internal hard drives. I know I'm blabbing on about stuff that you probably don't care about, but you know, whatever, you can't stop me, can you? I suppose you could stop watching the video, but like, you know, I might do something interesting and then you'll miss out. Or I could be about to go on a 20-minute ramble about who knows what, because it's been so long since I've had a chance to video blog. Because I've been trying to watch Digimon at night. I've been trying to get into watching fiction at night. And I think night is the best time for me to record stuff, because that's when people are asleep and I don't feel so like, Anyway, where was I going with that? All this? Yeah, no, will the files go across exactly? And I'll feel better if I can go directly from the old one to the new one. Just so I have a more accurate copy, because if I needed to use the external hard drive instead of the new fancy gadget thing, then those two files would be lost. But I'm still waiting to see whether or not this transfer will be properly exact, or if those two files drop off again. If they do drop off, it's not a big deal because it's just a backup. Yeah. Look at me and my brain going in little anxious circles. There's so much stuff that's been going on, and so yeah, I'm sorry I haven't been able to update, because like stuff that I probably wanted to vlog about is not relevant anymore because I've already moved on to the next moment. Yeah, but so I don't know. I need to try and do more vlogging, I think, and live streaming as well, because I realize if I don't practice speaking, it gets harder to speak when I need to, and my voice tires out because I haven't had the practice. So, you know, why the people who don't like the idea of someone with schizoid personality disorder vlogging, you know, why do I vlog? One of the reasons, I mean, it's not really why I vlog, but one of the benefits of vlogging, I think, is just to practice speaking. I know once I get on camera, I can talk for ages. Like that interview I did went on for almost 2 hours, and a lot of my live streams go for like 2 hours, so I know I can go on once I start up. But in my regular life, not on camera, I don't say a whole lot. Like, you know, maybe I talk to my parents, but they're not home all day, and there's not a huge amount to talk about, really. So when else do I use my voice? You don't even need to talk to shopkeepers anymore because you just go through the self-serve checkout, so less social interaction. Yeah, and I haven't really been doing singing practice either. I really should, but I haven't. Although, like, you know, now that I'll have the hard drive again, because all my music goes to the data drive, not my... I've got an SSD to boot the operating system off, and I've got a few files on that, but yeah, no, all my music is on the data drive. So now that I have one plugged in again, I'll be able to put on my, you know, singing playlists again. But yeah, no, even without that problem, I haven't been doing as much singing practice as I should, mostly in the car, which isn't proper singing really, because it's sort of like a mindless thing just to get me from point A to B without completely... Oh, I don't like driving. Yeah, no, I need to practice using my voice, because I just don't most of the time. Most days I'm quite quiet, and I don't go anywhere, and I'm just staying home. And so recently I had to... If you saw my community tab post, I was teaching bonsai, and usually I just do assistant teaching, but this time I actually did the demonstration. I didn't do the presentation. So the presentation my sensei did, and that's like the information about bonsai. I did the demonstration of here's the practical way that you do things, but there's a lot of talking involved. And then after that, the students do their practical, and we help out with the questions and making sure people are doing things right and not getting confused. And so that was a 9 to 4 shift with a break for lunch. I didn't talk much in the first hour of each class. So that was maybe 4 or 5 hours of talking from me after like just being quiet for ages. So yeah, I need to build myself up so I can talk for 5 hours without feeling it in my voice. Dear oh dear. So yeah, I'm gonna try and get better at live streaming. I've just got to figure out, you know, what's the best day for it. And Mum's got a new gym timetable, so if I can work out what day fits best with her being out the longest, maybe we can make that like a regular live streaming time. I know I've gone completely off the topic of computers now, so yeah, no, live streaming time. And then I've also just got to make sure I keep some time to actually video blog. But I am trying to watch more fiction, because like the real world's crap. And I know I moved away from fiction for a bit because it makes the real world feel worse by comparison, but you know, watching the news and stuff isn't doing it for me, so why not just go back to that fantasy land? Like, I'm gonna feel shit about the real world no matter what I do, so I might as well try and get back into the fiction and you know, at least for a few hours go somewhere that doesn't suck quite as much. Yeah, I don't know. I'm super, like, there's so much in my head that, yeah, I need to make videos about. And I think they need to be videos rather than live streams, because I know I really go off topic on live streams. And probably videos that are a bit more structured than this one, where I start off talking about computers and then just go completely off topic. And yeah, I realize now I probably shouldn't have done this on the phone, because now I have to hold it in this awkward position. So yeah, I'm gonna have to put it away in a bit. But yeah, so I've been watching Digimon. Digimon Season 2 actually took a while to get any good, but once it did get good, it got good when Ken had his crisis. And since then, most of the episodes and most of the story arc has been much more interesting than the start of the thing. But I won't go into detail about that now. But yeah, I want to keep watching it so that I can move on to Dexter, because my godmother got me New Blood, and my brother got me Season 8, and so I just want to start Dexter all over again. Especially Season 1 has some quotes that just... I now realize I probably was drawn to because of they're so schizoid. But we can talk about that later as well. One of the problems with the way that I keep thinking of things like, oh, I should make a video about this and this and this and this, and I should do this and this and this. You know, I should set up the merch thing, which you guys were really unhelpful. There's only like 5 people voted in the merch poll, and Paper Vampire ended up changing votes so that we could have a clear winner. Because like one vote difference is not enough for a clear winner. So thanks a lot, guys. Like, I didn't care whether or not you planned to buy any merch. I just want an opinion. What's better, Spreadshop or what's the other one, Teespring? I think they just called Spring now. Like, I just wanted an opinion if you have any idea which one's better. But I think maybe some of you misunderstood that maybe I was asking whether or not you wanted to buy it. I don't care if you buy the merch because I want to make it for me. And I just didn't know which one to sign up with. So, yeah. Paper Vampires had to come to the rescue on that one. Anyway, yeah, no, I keep getting all these different ideas and thinking, oh, I should do this and that. And I just get so distracted, trying to keep my head straight about what I'm even doing. And there's so much with my psychology that's just confusing. I feel like this year has been really confusing. I mean, I'm having a lot of the problems that I've had for a long time, but I guess being more aware of stuff and noticing stuff more, it's just like, wow, yeah, I don't know. And then there's some things where I'm like, I don't understand why other people don't feel the same shit that I'm going through. Like, really? So, yeah, I guess realizing just how different my, like, experience of things is from the rest of the population. Like, there's just stuff that I didn't realize no one else really has an issue with. I forget what I was saying, something about, like, live streaming, making videos. Yeah, there's just too much. I don't have enough time to get through all the things that are in my head, all the kinds of videos that I think I should make. I don't know how I fit everything in life. And, like, I have been going off on, like, you know, going down the YouTube wormhole and just zombie mode, but I'm still getting heaps done in life. Like, I mean, you know, not as much as I want to, but, like, I still somehow am busy and, like, getting art done, and I don't know, my days are really confusing. Days are really long, and so, like, I could do something this morning, and then it'll be tonight, and I'll be like, oh, that was today when I remember the thing. You know, it feels like it was ages ago. There's all this kind of confusing stuff going on, and I've completely lost the train of thought. Like, was I heading towards some kind of a point? I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, anyway, so I guess since I've gotten myself completely confused about what this video is, I should just stop. So anyway, so if I can figure out when I could do a regular live stream time, I'll try and schedule stuff so that people can actually join. Because I know I've been really bad about that stuff. And then, yeah, it'd be good if I could find some time to film. I think Mum was sick for a bit, so she was home a lot more, and that sort of threw things off. And then having appointments to go to, and yeah, it's hard to find time. And then, yeah, the only other time to film is at night, and I've been trying to watch the Digimon, and I don't know, life is just such a... I don't know. I don't know how... you know what I mean, right? I'm gonna go before I hurt myself more than I already have. Bye. Okay, so I realized I never actually finished that video or posted it in a timely manner. So that was 2 months ago and things have already moved on. But just to update a few things, so the file path issue, there was no problem. Everything transferred just fine. Yeah, I didn't plug in the old hard drive again to check this, but I am pretty sure that the new hard drive does have a bit more of a low-pitched hum, but it's not as bad as I initially thought it would be, and most of the time I don't notice it. I also noticed when I access stuff on that drive, it's a lot faster now, and at first I thought maybe it's because the new hard drive's better, but then I realized I never defragmented the old hard drive, so it was probably a bit of a mess, whereas this new one has had everything put in a much more I guess, orderly manner. And yeah, so defragmenting old style hard drives is something I forgot that sometimes needs to be done, I guess. And there's so many files on it. And then also one of the folders, I've got some really bad file management going on, so that's my own fault. Anyway, so it's working nicely. I haven't had any more issues. Now, with the old hard drive, once I transferred all the information over, the next step was to erase everything on it and erase it properly so that it couldn't be, brought back with, what do you call it? Software recovery stuff. Recovery software. File recovery software? I don't know. It's been a while since I've done all this stuff. But yeah, so to erase stuff, I mean, I don't know, like, the tech details, but I remember from when I worked in Kodak, when you delete something off some of these devices, instead of actually deleting it, it just like makes them hidden files and sometimes puts like a dot in front of their file name. So they're like hidden, but you can overwrite them, and so it's as if the thing is clean. And there are ways to see those files. Like I said, it's been a long time. So deleting it is not enough. You have to actually go through and properly erase things. And I did look up, like, is there some kind of software way to make this easy? But really, I don't want to spend money, and I didn't understand half the things I was being told to do. So instead, what I did is I started copying over random like movies and stuff. So a long time ago, I downloaded the anti-cheese Star Wars prequel edits, which I don't even know if you can get them anymore. They used to be on YouTube, I think, and then got deleted, or because Disney came along and got all upset. But those Star Wars edits, they basically what they do, they took out some of the more annoying gags, like, fart jokes and whatever. They gave Jar Jar and his whole race a different alien language so that they could put subtitles and, like, change the dialogue and make things make more sense. And they just, like, try to take as much cheese out of the prequels, and I find it much more watchable. The only thing I don't like is they got rid of the bit where Anakin's, like, having his breakdown about killing everyone, and his girlfriend is, like, there instead of, you just did all this horrible... I don't know, her reaction was always kind of odd, but I actually kind of like that scene where he's having his little meltdown. But anyway, blah, blah, blah. So I copied stuff over like that. But after a while, I was like, this is boring. So what I did is I got the... sorry, I'm a bit distracted. Someone's just sent me an email. I got the Rickroll, Never Gonna Give You Up video, and I started making an endless number of copies to fill up the rest of the space on this hard drive. And so now, like, what that does is it rewrites, when you copy all this stuff, it rewrites your old files so that even if you delete everything again, when someone tries to do a recovery, all they're gonna get now is endless Rickroll. And it's maybe not the most efficient way to erase a hard drive, but it was the most amusing, and I had fun with it, and I felt good. And then once I had done that and completely filled up all the space, mostly with that, but, a few other things, once I had done that, I did a format. I tried to do, like, this full-on format, but for some reason it just kept not working, so I had to do a quick format. But that's fine, and so the drive was empty, and then I packed it up, and I sent it off, knowing that, if anyone ever tried to recover anything, Rickroll's all they'd get. But so, remember, like, I just watched myself talking about stuff. So, I had problems with DHL, who stuffed me around and were really annoying. But fortunately for the return, because I had to return the part, otherwise they'd charge me whatever the market price is for the new hard drive. I returned it. They gave it me like a sticker to go through Star Trek, and Star Trek was so much better. It was so easy. They did put a phone number to call, and I don't like phone numbers, so I managed to find the thing online to book an online pickup and just put in like Dell as the company and all that, but residential address, blah blah. And then they came exactly when I expected them to come, picked it up, no problems. It got back to the place, in a day or two. I can't even remember, but it was really smooth. And so that was just like in terms of postage companies, Dell, what they did was fine, and so I'm still happy with my premium support. But the company that they chose, DHL, it's not the first time I've had issues with DHL, and I just don't like them. you know, from all the experiences I've had. Like, I've had good experiences, mostly when, you know, Punk Rave Australia sent me stuff. But in terms of other things, you know, of all the delivery companies I've dealt with, I've had the most issues with them. So, yeah, not my delivery company of choice. Star Trek was a lot better. It's just a shame that you can't book Star Trek for normal stuff, I think, at least from memory. They only really do, like, big companies. Anyway, so that's the last of that experience to talk about. And I realized, yeah, a lot of the stuff in that vlog bit in the middle was a bit outdated. But we've moved on, and yeah, stuff and things. Computer running nicely. Will have to make, because I've been making more YouTube videos, I am going to have to make space for more video content, and I already have backup drives that I got at the same time as that gadget. So yeah, eventually I'll sit down and, you know, back up my video content onto that. Maybe delete some of the old stuff. Like, I've been keeping a lot of my raw footage, but I don't really need it. Like, I thought, oh, maybe I'll come back and revisit. The fact is, I'm not. You know, once I made the video and it's up on YouTube, now it's YouTube's problem. I'm never going to look at this stuff again. And I think, yeah, like, maybe I should keep stuff for a little bit, just in case of, I don't know, I don't even have copyright stuff in my videos most of the time. What else could possibly go wrong? I don't know. There's just not really anything I need to edit. So yeah, I should just delete that old archive, but I might back up a few things. And I also have like some things backed up on my big hard drive. Yeah, anyway, what that doesn't even matter. It's funny how I just keep rambling about things that probably no one cares about. It's just my brain going through things and like thinking out loud. But hey, yeah, that's all I've got to add to this video. I'm sorry it took so long for anyone who happens to care, but yeah, so the moral of the story is if you need to erase a hard drive or a USB or something, just copy endless versions of Rickroll onto it, and you can have a little chuckle while you're doing your tech security, whatever the heck you want to call it. And I am going to go. Bye.